We are family. Come on over to the source and see. Hey! We are family. I got all my supporters with me. Hey! We are family. Forever the source, that's unity.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Just got emotional with that whole intro there. Just feeling their presence, you know? Welcome in, everybody. This is the celebration of life for Deb Rael, my partner. And it's just going to be what it's going to be, you know? It's going to be 2 hours, and I'm going to share stories, and there's a panel, you know, available to if anyone else wants to share any stories of how she made you feel or anything like that. I did send out the invite to some of her family and friends, so there's a possibility they can come through, but you know, this was not their world. This was not their world. This live stream, this YouTube thing, this was never her friend. There may be a couple of her friends that watched a video or two or tuned in once or twice, but I don't expect. This is our little world here over here, and Deb supported. I know Heart Whisper. I know you're here. I see you. Thank you so much for that contribution. Luke Axum's here. Florida Axums are here. Okay. Okay. Welcome in, everybody. Yeah, I just appreciate everybody, all of your support, and through this whole time, and just the whole time Deb and I have known all of you on here. It's just been, you know, what, a year and a half to 2 years on here, and just the family, the bonds that we've built over this year and a half, and y'all out there have been like an extended family to Deb and I for this time at least. But their real family, I can't even imagine. Can't even imagine. But I got to know her for 10 really, really good years. And that's what I can focus on today. And that's what I'm going to share today is from that 10. Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm not shouting out all your names. I'm just not today. But I could share those 10 years. And also this channel, like Deb participated with this channel. I know, I think she was about 67. I was trying to do the math. I don't know if she was gonna turn 67 this year, if she already was. But young for sure, like young spirited, like the most young spirited, you know, sweet person you'll ever meet. But yeah, her body wasn't always mirroring it back. Her body gave her all the challenges, and it's at the end, that's what took her out, was the body. But her spirit was always, 66 years young. Yes. A divine number right there. Those big years, those 33, 66, and if you can make it to 99, I'm telling you, those are big years. Yeah, those are divine numbers there. Yeah, no, I'm 43. So when I met her in California, age, who cares? What is age really? You know, I met her in a bar, the Ojai Deer Lodge, Ojai, California. Met her in a bar in Ojai, California. We were just out to music, enjoying music, and she had her own table to my right. I had my own table, big circle tables, and we had live music and everything. We were just sitting there, just enjoying live music by ourselves. Didn't need anybody else. We just sitting there and just enjoying the live music. And you know, I don't know what caused me to approach her. God, the only thing I could think of was God, you know. And then like when we looked at each other, it's once we reflected back on it, we both acknowledged that both of us had the same message in our head. I heard in my head, she's just like me. And she heard in her head, he's just like me. And I must have approached her. It's all like blurrier in my mind, but she could probably tell you the story word for word, every detail. That's how she was. Um, Me, I was just hippie, long hair, long beard, just landed in this town, Ojai, this small town, this spiritual town, and was just happy to have a roof over my head and be able to get out of the house there because I had a lot of responsibilities that were hard for me then. And I just went out to have a drink and enjoy the music, and that's where I met her. And I approached her, and there's a lot of stories, you know, like she always reminds me that, you know, I married her the first, you know, moment I met her, and I put our pinkies together, and I said, we're married. And she said, no, it's impossible. I can't, we can't. And I said, yeah, we're married. She's like, no, I have commitment issues. And I said, well, so do I, you know, and like, where does this stuff come from? Like, it just it was like an energy took over when we were together. You know, like it was like a presence, an energy field. There was God was present, you know, and was orchestrating it from the beginning. Um, and I knew, like, the first conversation I had with her, it was that knowingness that, like, okay, this she she has done her spiritual, this is a spiritual being, this is someone that I resonate with, this is someone that knows, has been through the process of, you know, I don't even know how to explain it, but I just knew, like, I had had a spiritual partner previous, and I was like, oh, this is the younger version, this is the more healed version, this is the of like the work I was already doing with previous spiritual partnerships. I was like, okay, the work I've done in spiritual partnerships, the walk I've led, the work I've done up to this point was with other spiritual partners, but now I see this is a manifestation of a woman that is embodying the work that has already been done, and that we could skip past all the other stuff because I know that we're already at that level. We're already locked in. Um, and I knew right there it was going to be a spiritual partnership. That first conversation, so like that knowingness, that pinky, you know, we're married, um, you know, like I don't know, I just remember those first couple times hanging out at the Deer Lodge with her, because we would go to music every couple nights, like clockwork. We would be out to music, and we would go separately for a little while, but then soon after it would be she would be driving, and when she didn't drive, I had to ride a bike because I was not in any position to. I was just hippie young man traveling. Um, just landed in town, was producing a festival, One Love Experience, with a crew there, and I was just networking, and I was just checking out music to be able to add musicians to the lineup for the festival. I was just locked in on that, and but we met that night, and those all those nights out with music. Um, you know, she'd sneak her little vodka in her little container, and I'd go and buy. Sometimes I'd go and buy a little small little vodka at a little gas station and try to pour it into my little cup because I saw she was able to do it, so I did it. You know, she was on a fixed income. You know, um, and but you know, I would dance around that bar, and we had our own table and a whole crew of us sitting. We did a table band. We were all jamming out at the table band. Um, and these are very vivid memories, and she would always remind me of them all, like our table band and me dancing around, and we did dance on this up we danced a little. I think I got her up on stage even because there was live music and we were able to go up and perform a little bit too. And um, I just remember all those because it was weeks, if not months, that we would go out to music every night or every couple nights, a couple nights a week. And that's where it all built. So where it all started. Like it wasn't like she was out, she had a knowing that she would meet her soulmate, and she was attracting all these different men into the possibility. And then I show up and she just got a big, she said she had a big no, she said, but that has always been her story, that she was like, no, it's this other guy, it's this other guy. And she was like, got this guidance. And then I just kept showing up. I was just there every single time, over and over and over. And then when she didn't want to do music anymore, I was the one that said, hey, like, what are you doing? And then I went over and hung out at her place. And then it was just like many months, years of just, we would just hang out every evening and watch movies and have snacks and have our drinks and whatever. I would pass out during the movie and she'd be mad at me. And, we shared her little bed, her little twin bed, and her little cottage in the backyard in the garden in Ojai was like the perfect setup. And she was there 15 years and had this perfect little life, even though she had her fair share of, like, she had just come off of being forcefully retired because of her medical. She had just gone onto disability in recent years. She had just gotten Social Security, all the benefit system set up. She just got to a point where she can get out of the house, out of the bed and out of the house, because she was in the bed where she couldn't move. Her friends would come and went and be there and help her with everything for a while there. And she barely had a home at a certain point. It was in Ojai. It was like, it took a lot. When these medical things happened, they happened. And it just like this happened. She told me stories about when she was in her 20s, this happened and she was in the hospital. And there was Duke Hospital, and there was, they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her then. So this was a repeating pattern, and it was not, it wasn't like, there's no like shame or blame. It's like, it wasn't like, oh, you've done this to yourself health wise. It was more like a spiritual kind of a thing that would reoccur in her life at these critical years, so because she had that was a big part of, because she told me her stories. It was like, I got 10 years of her stories. I got to hear her story for 10 years. She made sure I knew all of her life stories over those 10 years. So I knew about, in her 20s, and uh, being like, they didn't know what to do with her then, and they never really figured it out, but they opened her heart up, and they put her on different medicines, and and she made it through it, thankfully. Like, I guess her dad really, her parent, dad was a pharmacist, so and they figured it out. They figured her out then, her parents figured her out at the hospital back then. So to be able to get her to a point where she could live a good life. And we'll talk about that too. Some of her life that I know of, I've been talking to her friends a lot lately, and her family too. But like, I know that she was this like star seed, this spiritual young person, and like very intuitive and psychic abilities, and really gifted, and just really sweet and loving, and really just loved music. And I know that she um and if anybody here knows her from those years, the link is in the chat now. If anybody knows her from those years, I don't want to speak for, because I wasn't there, but I just know from her stories that she would love to be out in the swing set and rocking in the chair, and she'd love to ride her bike around the yard as a young kid, and sing spiritual songs that were love songs and peace songs. And I just know that's what she told me. And she'd love to sit, and just watch the grass and watch the the river stream flow by, or like, you know, continually through life. She told me she was, you know, in a position to sit outside and just watch traffic when she was young, and then watch the stream when she was in college. And then, you know, with me, she was able to sit by the window and watch our beautiful property in Sprecklesville here in Maui. And then here she set herself up to be able to sit by the window and just look out. And because that's that in Ojai, that's what she did. She sat on her couch and just looked out, you know, out the window into her little rose garden with orchard, like beautiful little. It was perfect. But she wanted me to be with her, and I couldn't live there. She was on Section 8 HUD housing, and you know, so we maxed it out. You know, we maxed out the Ojai life over there. And you know, so I'll tell more of that story. We're going to go through the whole story. We're going to go all the way through. And I've got, you know, videos where she was involved in the YouTube as well, and like to share and things like that. But I want to play a song here. That was one of the songs that was created on here, the Peaceful Vibes. I think it's pretty good, pretty fitting. So, and all these backgrounds resonate. So I'll switch up the backgrounds a little bit. But let's do the Peaceful Vibes for a second here.
The sun, it rises warm and bright. No worries left, no endless fight. We dance in fields where love is grown. For peace on earth we've always known. The waves, they kiss the golden shore. In hearts of gold we seek no more. Where every soul can find their way. In love we bask and freely sway. Peaceful vibes in paradise. Underneath these turquoise skies. Hand in hand we walk as one. Feeling life like a rising sun. Through forest green and rivers wide. Every tear is left behind. In this garden we call home. We find a place where hearts can roam. No borders here, no walls to climb. Just pure love and endless time. A world where everyone belongs. In harmony we sing this song. Peaceful vibes in paradise. Underneath these turquoise skies. Hand
Okay. Oop, still going.
The sun, it rises warm and bright. No worries left, no endless fight. We dance in fields where love is grown.
Okay. All right, I'm back. So I was just sharing some pictures on the screen there. Um, and again, thank you everybody for being here. And thank you everyone for all of your love and prayers and condolences over these past. It's only been, I think, the fifth day now, Tuesday to Saturday now. Um, yes. So thank you so much for that, and this has helped me a lot with this process. Grieving has not been anything I've ever done in this life, never. So um, yeah, um, so uh, it's just to me like I've just been downloaded with like a heavy heart, almost immediately the day that it happened on Tuesday, I was just a heavy heart. And, uh, Tuesday was a rough day. Uh, uh, I remember Monday evening, like, I didn't even know the extent of what was happening Monday evening, really, until I got there. Um, she had mentioned to me that she had been moved to intensive care, but yeah, I, this is not who I am. I don't know anything about any of this. I'm just the joyful, happy-go-lucky guy. So we both had such faith that no matter what, it was going to be right, no matter what. But like, we both lived on that faith that she had a plan and she was going to come home. And if they had to make her go to rehab first, and her big thing was she could do rehab, she would be able to get back up on her feet, walking again. She would be able to go to the bathroom on her own. She would be able to care for herself enough because she never wanted to be a burden on me. So like she understood that part of the process. So she was just trying to get to the rehab, and she got there for just a couple days, um, and it wasn't. She wasn't getting the care she needed there at the rehab, and her the phlegm and the mucus and everything would build up, and then she wasn't able to breathe well, um, and she had them bring them to the ER. So this all started, you know, it's probably been going a long time, obviously, but her immune system was never up to speed ever since she was young. Um, and she had very rare, unique, health, you know, and um, she had gone to the hospital in previous years. I remember in Ojai, they told her heart was weak and such. So her heart was on the radar for, she always would say to me, like, I hope it's not my heart. Like, I don't know how many times I heard that over the past couple of years. Um, and yeah, so with the property managing we did in over in Sprecklesville here in Maui for those 5 years, and she was 5 stars. She was 5 stars, so she worked at a five-star resort, and she only knew how to do 5 stars. And I told her not to. I tried to tell her, please don't. You're overdoing it. You're doing too much. You know, like I wouldn't do as much as you're doing. I would try to like let it be a little bit more. And 'cause she wanted to make sure all of our tenants at our old place were taken care of, and we made sure to get the mail for all of them. She notified every single one of them when they got mail or packages. She would go outside every day, make sure the laundry was all good, and so there was no fire, of course, which was important. And then sometimes the landlord would have her go and show an apartment or something, or have to go across the yard for a landscaping thing. There was these little things that she couldn't quite do. Up to, she couldn't walk that well. She couldn't walk for long distances. She needed even surfaces to walk on. She always needed a chair that would hold her up, and she had falls previously with chairs, and there was a lot of these concerns that she lived by, and I learned to accommodate for every single one of them when we really started hanging out in the beginning there, and all the way through our whole relationship. I just always accommodated. I let her lead because I knew that if I did anything, there was a likelihood that she needed it done a different way. So I would always let her lead in everything. So she ended up carrying everything. She ended up leading our whole life, and managing our whole life. So not only was she managing my life in a way, but she was managing for these 9 or 10, these 10 tenants. And then she would hold space for all of her friends. She would be, I know they helped each other, of course, but she would always fall into that. She was the psychic reader and really just the connector, and really that sweet, like, caring person that she kept all these relationships going strong, all of them. And she was 66, and she told me many of them were 70s, 80s, older. Some had already passed. But she was the young one in the crew when they would gather in Ojai, California, and go out and do margaritas or whatever, and like she was the young one in the crew. So, but and but yeah, so medical had always been a thing, and but she had gotten well enough in Ojai to get out, and then we met each other, and then it was like, how many times did I hear that, she can't do too much, but then I'm just going, I'm just doing everything. But then she would want to be with me for some of it. But then she also liked when I would go out and do the things and then come back home and tell her about it. Or if we would meet on a Zoom call or iPhone call, whatever you call the different technologies, we would meet on a video call and share everything. And sometimes we would talk for hours and hours in the evenings when she lived in Ojai and I was living in Maui. And I'd keep her up, because I was driving Uber all the way back, an hour back home after my Ubering at the end of the night. So she would stay up till 3 a.m. sometimes, make sure I stayed awake on my drive home, So, but yeah, so we met in Ojai, and we got to know each other. And I would still come and go on my adventures. So hard to tell how to tell the story, like I know I'm skipping around, but I don't know, but I want to get through the story a little and then really get up to today, because its timeline does kind of matter to me. But I don't know. But yeah, so we hung out a lot, like I said, every evening, and watch movies and just hang out, and we talk spirituality. Like, she loved the whole psychic, space. She loved it. She loved reading to me my horoscopal, astrology, all those things. She loved sharing all those with me, and then we would get these channeled messages, and we just always stay tuned into our spiritual change the world, love, light worker kind of reality, where we got messages and we would share them with each other, and it would kind of help us get through the day and through our week and whatnot. And so that was something we shared, is that space. Yeah, many good times. I just remember, yeah, like we would go in the store and we'd buy our snacks and go back and watch watch movies and go out to music for a while there. And then, you know, I was just staying in Ojai at helping out an older lady over there. And, you know, I needed to get away from that too. And so she was my escape, and we would have a really great time and be free and lighthearted and yeah, like kids, you know, we were kids together. Um, but yeah, I'd go on my adventures too, and you know, but then I would come back to her, you know. Um, there was one where I was, you know, in a pretty rough place up in Oregon after one of my trips, and I just laying in that bed in the dark up in Oregon and just like, what do I do now, you know? And I just got the message to go back with her, you know, and that was and then I found rides back down the coast, and she met me. She drove pretty far away just to meet me, to scoot me up and bring me back to Ojai. But there was a couple times where I would go out on these adventures. We stayed in touch, and then I'd be in her little cottage with her, you know, because I didn't have the home at that point, and you know, we'd max that out, and but then it was just it was a lot. It was a lot, and then there was the fires. The fires came through Ojai, California, and you know, I helped Deb escape from her home. You know, I just knew I had to get her out of there. I just in case, you know, we got out of her home and got over to her friend's place, which we thought would be safer. But then that next morning, the fires came up the ridge and were coming up on her friend's house. So we got up early and got out of there as that was happening. So I got Deb and Deb's friend into the friend's BMW, and we drove out of there frantically. And there was one road out of town, and between the, you know, the fires on both sides, and I'm just driving this BMW getting us out of there. um, and then we got out and went up the coast and stayed in hotels for about a week, I think. And that was like, for she would remind me, we had her cat with us. She would remind me that was like a honeymoon for us, and we had this cute little hotel room, and the cat was in there. We had all our snacks and everything. We could watch TV or just hang out. We went to a local movie there. We went and saw Wonder, which was the theme of that time was wonder. Everything's working out wonderfully. All of life's blessings. Everything. We had our own little saying back then, and then wonder shows up on the big screens, and so that was a cute little thing we had. That was near Buellton, California. Solvang, cute little town, Solvang. We got to go around that town, and beautiful German town. And we went to a local farm and community over there that I had already connected with, that gave her a glimpse of what it could be like if we lived on the land, on like this huge like acreages, and with a community center in the middle with meals every day, and artists and spiritual people. And she got to experience all that, and we stayed in a little cabin there, and you know, but then we ended up going back to Ojai to try to see if it was livable in Ojai. And for a little bit, we were able to stay in Ojai in her cabin, in her cottage there. We got this like hillbilly air purifier set up, and it was like a fan with like an air filter on the back. Well, an air filter on the back, and you put it in front of your air conditioner so like it can filter. And we tried to live there, but it was too smoky. So we ended up escaping again and going up the coast on a little adventure together, where we called it like the raising awareness for the victims of the fires, Ojai fires. You know, we created a whole pamphlets and everything, went up the coast and went on our adventure and stayed in different places. And but we were in her car, and she wasn't as comfortable with this sort of life as I was. So it wasn't to be. So we ended up turning back and heading back down towards her home. But at that point, there was like, where am I supposed to be at that point? Because it was like we sat in the hotel and we planned out where should Doran be next, because I had outstayed. There was just nothing. I didn't have a home, and I couldn't really stay with her. So that's where I had decided that I would just go to Hawaii finally. Um, and so I flew over to Hawaii and to Maui and stayed in a work trade farm there and for 6 months. And we stayed in touch on the video calls and phones every night. And then after that, I work traded, and then after that, I got a place to stay, but it wasn't quite good enough for her to move over to Maui and join me. So um, when I got this recent place in Sprecklesville, it was just enough. And I had just gone through another little trauma. So, of course, she flew over to make sure I was okay, and finally she was getting that message that it was time for us to set up the home and set up the life, and it was time for us to live together. And yeah, there was a whole, like, in my old place I was living, there was a friend I made and that he had passed, and whether he did it to himself or whether it was done to him, it was unclear. The landlord situation was they were rivaling, and so I had lost a friend, and I didn't know for sure if it was safe for me there. So I had to frantically get out of that place, and I found a new place and locked it in just in time. And it was perfect in Sprecklesville, 2 acres on the land. And with the pig, of course, that pig right there, Harley. And, and then like she just snap of the finger said, I'm coming over. And within a month she was moved in. She sold off everything in Ojai, and she stayed with a friend for a second there, and then she helped her friend Judy helped her, and she just got to me, and we set up. There was a back and forth where, like, I visited her in Ojai a few times, and she visited me in Maui a few times. She visited me probably 1 or 2 more times than I visited her, and she wouldn't let me down on that one. She made sure I visited her, and I did. The time I visited her, though, was the pandemic. Like, the March 2020 is the time I visited her, and within a few days of visiting her in Ojai, in 2020 March, within a few days we start hearing the news that the coronavirus, the pandemic is hitting, and I couldn't stay with her much longer there, because I had to get back to Maui if I was going to actually get back to Maui. And then I thought maybe she would join me and come back and move over with me at that moment, like, this is the time. I thought she would just, like, pack, but then she couldn't move that fast. So yeah, I flew back over to Maui, and I jumped right into produce deliveries, delivering to homes, and so that wasn't time yet for her to come over, but it was, though, in 5 years ago. That was when it was time. Once I set up the home here, and she had time to do all that she needed to do to make it happen. She had a cat and a perfect home in Ojai and everything, and so she couldn't just drop everything. And she gave up a lot to be with me and to move over to Maui. Um, and But then, yeah, we were there in the Sprecklesville home there on the land for upwards of a year without property managing, and that was probably really good for her. But then we were, it became clear that the community there needed our help, and we stepped into a role that was a little too much for her, but we both just stepped it up. We both just made it happen, and we did it for 5 years, and we were successful in it. We were above and beyond. We did an amazing job. And we had a lot of really good times those past 5 years over there, and we are a day in the life with Deb and I is like waking up. I wake up early. Sometimes she wakes up with me early. Sometimes she sleeps in. If she can sleep in, that's a blessing, and I allow that. I encourage that, and otherwise, she's up, and I'm trying to get ready for work, and she's saying, hello, good morning, and I'm trying to focus and get ready for work, and and then, I head off to work for hours and hours and hours, and we communicate while I'm at work. She's texting me all the updates of everything that's happening, and I'm working away and coming home late. For a while there, I was coming home way too late, and she had to give me an earful every time I got home. I got an earful about coming home way too late, um, but then when we were home in the evenings, we would share dinner together. A lot of times she would have me pick up food. Like there was a Mexican place, an Italian place, a burger place. She had her comforts, her creature comforts. She loved mozzarella sticks. She loved cheeseburgers, bacon cheeseburgers, of course. Nacho, anything like grilled cheese sandwich, hot dogs, anything that was like those comforts. She loved all the different comfort foods. So I'd pick up some of that sort of stuff, and we'd share those meals together, or she'd put her meal together, and I'd come home and put something together real quick, and then we'd go to the TV and sit. After, of course, we shared our whole day. She every day she made sure we kissed every chance she can get me to kiss. We kissed, and I'm not that guy. I'm just not that affectionate. Like I'm not that. I'm different. But she was that. She was that connector. She was that intimate. She was that, kissy and lovey and huggy and all that. Um, and she taught me as much as I was willing to learn over the years, and I did my best to meet her in that space. But she always wanted to talk. She always wanted to share stories. She always wanted to hold hands. She always wanted to kiss. She always wanted to, do all those things. And I'm just, I'm a resistant, curmudgeon. I don't know. But yeah, so in the evenings we'd share our day, and then we'd go into watching our shows. We watched so many good shows over these past 10, up to 10 years. We watched so many good shows together and movies, and sit there with our little chairs set next to each other, and we had our drinks and our snacks and everything. And she always loved to have these little Dove candies and these little peppermints, and her sometimes pretzels or chips or something. But and then her drinks, she always had two drinks, one with water and coconut and pineapple, and the other sometimes root beer, or hot chocolate for a while there. So she was big in the root beer and the hot chocolate. And we just watch our shows, and it was really nice. And in the evenings, we'd have time to separate, and I can do my YouTube, and she can go into her horoscopal astrology world, listen to her things, and I would do my things. And we had that respect and that space for each other. So, and that's a day in the life, and we would go to bed together every night. There was never a night where we didn't go to bed together. And of course, connect the last 20 minutes before going to bed every night. And whatever needed to be said, and in the evening, and then do it all over again. Just go to sleep and then start all again. And thank you everybody for being here. I'm just free sharing. And again, if there's any family members that want to share any of her story from the early part of her life, I'll drop the link again consistently here. And then like later, we can maybe have some space for some YouTube connections to come on here and share a little how she made you feel, and little remembrances. But I'm just gonna keep sharing stories and all the way through, and share maybe a little bit of the YouTube that we created together when she got involved with the YouTube content, which was not like, it wasn't her thing. Like this was not her thing. This was my thing, but she was there supporting the whole time, and watched every single one of my videos, every single one of my shorts, long forms, live streams, everything, every comment, every post, everything. She just was a partner, 100%, full through and through. Luke said, my dad has a story to share. Yeah, absolutely. Come on up. If you would like to share it up here, the link is there. Come on up. And if you can get the technology to work, you click the link, and then it makes sure you're logged into like your Google account or something, and then it brings you up on the back room, and then I'll see you there, and I'll be able to pop you up on the screen. And then when you're ready, if you choose to share, we'll do signing it. Sounds great. Um, and I'd like to fill a lot of those gaps. I've only seen a handful of pictures of her when she was younger, and I've heard all her stories. But I love to hear from the family and friends, and I shared this out as best I could with some family and some friends. But I know this is our world. Okay, he's here. He's getting ready here. So, and then I'll go back into all the whole story from the beginning. And but I see Luke's here. Let's bring Luke up here first. And then I'll go back into all. Oh, can you turn down any background noise if you have it playing? In the...
Here you go. Oh, okay.
Aw.
Oh, hey, Donna. I can't hear him.
Hold on.
Okay.
Oh,
Look on your
Okay.
phone. Look on your phone. Can you see?
Yeah, I can see Doran.
Can everybody hear us?
yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, well, first, thank you, Doran,
Thank you.
for everything. I'm going to tell a couple stories if I can get through it. When she was young in high school, and I'm sure Brenda can back this up and some of her other special friends, she was a very accomplished swimmer. She actually she shared a state title in a relay for a swim function. She liked water polo. She was quite athletic. So I think that's pretty cool. And then, she went out to University of Florida for a little while, and then wasn't sure what she really wanted to do until she got into the hairdressing, and she got into that for a while, well, for a long time. But I do remember stories that you were bringing up about her. She lived up in Rushville for a little bit, where her grandparents were. Her grandparents were at one point, and she lived up there permanently for I think a year or two, maybe. But she would always talk about sitting out on the front porch of Main Street, and I don't know if she probably told you this too, Dorn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but she really loved that. She loved Rushville. Um, but that's just a couple off the top of my head. I mean, naturally, I got a million more, but yeah,
Yeah.
they're not coming to mind right now, and I'm just trying to get through this as well. But
Right. Yeah.
so
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for coming on here and sharing. She did talk about like Rushville and sitting and watching the traffic um yeah, and she had such a bond with everyone. Like, of course, family. I heard about her your other brother that passed at a young
yeah,
age.
Russ. Yeah.
That was a big thing that she would share, and how he was such a free spirit and
Oh yeah.
musician, and he'd ride his motorcycles, and so I heard a lot about that, and yeah, I got to know you, Ron, and Luke, and Sarah, and everybody. I got to meet all of you, and I know it hasn't been that much of like connecting, but I know you and I have talked about sports. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, for sure.
we've been able to connect over like football, and so I think she probably knew something, on some level for her to connect us all of late more and more, and yeah, and I heard all the stories about her and her friends too, so I got to know, like, she would share with me, oh, Brenda this, and
Oh,
Gloria this, and and
yeah.
I've got in my phone now, a number. I've got Candace, because I try to get in her phone and reach out to those that were sending her messages.
Oh, thank you.
Debbie
Yes.
Lee, and Lisa,
Yeah.
and so there's a handful. Oh, Lita, and Meg and Ojai,
Okay.
were in touch, of course, and Because I got to hang out with Lita, Meg, Deb, and all them at the bars so many times, and I got to know Lita and Meg and a number of them, and talked to
Okay.
Gloria on the phone. Like I remember we went out to see the movie Wonder in that Buellton Solvang area after the fires came through, and that's when I got on the phone with Gloria the first time, and it was immediate. It was like, because I know Deb and Gloria were like besties, and so Gloria gets on the phone. I'm like, hey, what's up? And she's like, oh, hey, Dorian, how are you? And I'm like, yo, da, 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 da. We just started going back and forth, and
Oh
so
yeah. Back in those days, my nickname for I used to call Gloria Glowworm. She loved
glowworm,
it.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know
yeah,
where it came from, just some dumb nickname I made up, but
yeah,
she's
yeah,
her and Lisa and Brenda Stastny. I mean, those are a very, very tight group that
yeah,
Deb
yeah.
had down here for sure.
I've been texting with all of them. I just got texted to Gloria yesterday, so we've been talking yesterday and today. She sends me this really long text of, "Oh, Deb is so sweet. I love her so much, and she's in the arms of with God, and she's with Jesus, and like all this really spiritual, really really sweet." And Brenda and I were talking a couple days ago and sharing stories, and I had the biggest emotional release I've ever had in my entire life during that conversation. And immediately, right when I had that release, I said I was probably holding some of Deb's stuff too because I was holding it together the whole 10 years I was with her. And then I felt all this rain just dumped on the vehicle right after I said that I just released it all. And it's probably
Oh,
some of her stuff too. It was like, so then I told Brenda, I said, um, that happened, and then I started driving around, and I saw this huge cloud cover floating over the sky. So I got a video of the cloud cover, and I sent it to Brent, and a little bird flies across the screen, and she's like, I'm looking for a. Brenda said she's looking for a sign. She wants to see a sign. She's like, I saw that bird. You see that bird? And then Brenda told me, she said, I'd like to see a rainbow. If you get a chance today, send me a rainbow. And then the whole day, the other day, I drove around the island and I got 100 pictures of the rainbow as I drove around, like all around the island. And I started creating these short content videos on here and doing like a commemoration thing with that. And I'm seeing rainbows and butterflies everywhere now. So and the, and the,
that's awesome.
our YouTube community is doing rainbows, butterflies nonstop, and doves and candles, and they've been really showing up. Like this YouTube community, like I don't know, like it's just amazing to me how they've all, because Deb was in the background, like she was in the other room, or and she was always doing this, shaking the rattle.
Right.
Um, and she would yell, "Hey, hi!" to whoever, if she knew the person that was on the YouTube. She, "Hey, I love you too," and you could just hear her in the background, and everyone got to know her through that. And plus, she was in a few of the videos, and I have a whole playlist now on here called "Remembering Deb" with all the videos that she was in. So I encourage everyone to check that out, and I'll try to show some of that today, but I don't know if I will be able to really do it the honor. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
All
but yeah,
righty. Well, I'm gonna let you go ahead and continue, but thanks
okay,
thanks for letting me participate in this.
absolutely. Thank you. I'm so glad you are here and Luke's here and
Yeah,
um,
And Fran, my wife,
Fran's
and
here. Hey,
yep,
Fran.
she's here,
Awesome.
and then Luke and Lindsay. Lindsay's Luke's
Lindsay's
wife.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, hey, everybody.
Around.
Hey guys, so this is my mom, Fran, my dad's wife, obviously. My name is Luke. I am Debbie's nephew. This is my wife, Lindsay, and our dog Maggie. So we're all just hanging out here on the couch. Just got you up here on the live stream on the TV, and just appreciate everything that you're doing, and we appreciate you putting this together, and just appreciate the strong community. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
And Luke, I want to say, like, I almost saw you growing up like through her eyes, like because you and her had that bond. You and Sarah too, Sarah and her. So all the stories she would tell of like, because it was 10 years of hearing these stories. So I would hear that you had that strong bond and you talk on the phone and catch each other up with everything going on through life. And so she lived through your life journeys, Sarah's life journeys, everybody else. She had all these amazing friends, family that she would keep up with, and she'd tell me all of it. So, so
No, for sure, for sure. I
yeah,
mean, and still even to this day, it's like even when I was a little kid, I'd ask my parents, "Can I call Aunt Debbie? Like, what
yeah,
time is it in California, or
yeah,
wherever she is? Can I call Aunt Debbie? I got to talk to Aunt Debbie. I got to catch Aunt
yeah,
Debbie up with all the news and everything."
yeah.
We just appreciate everything.
I think that's the hardest thing. The hardest thing I've heard from a lot of people is like that they don't have that now. They don't have that ability to do that
Right.
call, and do that
No,
however long the call went, and you know, that's the thing. She had that space for so many that she touched for sure. So
for sure, for sure. Again, appreciate everything. Before we let you go here, my mom here would love to say a couple words as well.
thank you. Hey,
The
Fran.
other thing that I do want to share, I'm Fran, and the other thing that I do want to share is that when Luke and Lindsay got married, Debbie wanted very much to be at the wedding and for you and Debbie to be at the wedding. And during the wedding, we tried very hard to make sure that she was part of the wedding, even though she wasn't there. And she was just so happy. She was just so happy to be part of it.
She was there in spirit.
She
She
was
was
there.
There in
there. She
spirit.
was
She was
there.
there.
Spirit. Both of you guys were. Both of
Yes,
See
you were.
that's
absolutely.
the thing. That's the thing that I get from this all is that like wherever she could have the most comfortable seat to be able to be a part of our life, everything that was happening, because she couldn't be everywhere. She couldn't fly well. She couldn't walk around well. She couldn't do all that. But that's there's this vision of her sitting in the clouds in her comfortable chair and just smiling, looking down and watching, and yeah, because she couldn't do everything. I was out there doing things, and she would just stay home and want me to tell her when I got home about it all. So, you know, or live stream to her, like actually call her through technology and, hey, I'm here. You want to see? This is what I'm doing right now. Like, and she would love it. So, yeah.
And she and I do believe that she is still present. She
Oh,
is so present. She's here. She's here with all of us. And
mhm. Yep.
I just see sunshine and rainbows and butterflies and all those good things that you're talking about. That is Debbie. And
Yep.
thank you for taking such good care of her. We really appreciate that.
Thank you. I did my best within my
You did.
own limitations of it all, but we definitely shared a lot of adventures. Maybe I'll get some of that shared on here, but we shared a lot of really good adventures, and there's so many pictures of her and I like sitting out to eat in all these different places, or beautiful places too. We've got to some really beautiful spots, um, and yeah, so
For sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we appreciate everything, Doran. We love you. And we will let you get back to the video here.
all right. Thank you so much.
Alrighty.
Thank you
Thanks,
all. Love
Doran.
you all.
George,
Love you.
we love you.
Bye.
Okay. Uh, okay, everybody. Thank you so much. That I'm so glad that they were able to come on here, because me just sitting up here, it doesn't really do any justice, Um, and now it's like, where do I continue at? We're at an hour. I do 2 hours on. Is he stuck on the screen? Let me see if I can. There we go. Sorry about that. Let's change the background a little bit too. Maybe share some pictures again here. Let's see here. All these backgrounds resonated today. Her magical, mystical, that's who she was through and through. Magical, mystical, fairy, loved dolphins and butterflies and everything magical and mystical. And she loved the foresty, all that sort of thing. So we'll leave that on there for a little bit here. And maybe I'll put a little bit of, I've got only a couple music things that resonated at all on here. Put something on there for a little bit, change it up a little. Yeah, dolphins, yep, fairies, all of that, rainbows, and she was that pure, way ahead of her time, colorful. So that's another thing is, I'm gonna turn down that music because I don't know how loud it is. Okay, so she, career-wise, she told me about all this. So let's see here. So about Deborah L. This is her little bio she created. It says, Aloha. I was born in a small rural Indiana town, and Deborah L is actually my internet stage name. She kind of needed an anonymity kind of thing because she was in all of the systems, government systems, and she had to kind of, plus there was, just like me, there was some debt, we both lived through some tough times with finances too. And so she kind of had a little bit of a private life, and she liked it that way. She liked to live small and secluded and private in the garden, but in the past, she was very active online through websites and as a guest and a guest host even on several internet radio shows. So she did this media thing in the past. She had, appearances, and she was a guest host on spiritual, astrology and different topics, radio shows. And she was even on TV. She would always tell me she was even on TV there for a little while, here and there. But her first career was as a hairstylist, and a hair salon owner later in Florida there. She had her own hair salon. So she was a business person. She had her own business, and she had clients, tons of clients that she served when she had a job in hairstyling. And then they moved over to her business, her hair salon, and she did her psychic energy work with each client. So she was holding space and psychically bringing messages through, and just this force, So she began her second career in Arizona as an intuitive reader. So she grew up in Indiana. She lived in Florida, Arizona. She got out to California. So in Arizona, she was an intuitive reader, like psychic, and using color as her main tool. So this whole concept, color reading, that she learned and she mastered. She would be able to read give you a reading based on your colors. You name off a couple colors, and she'd be able to give you a reading, a little bit of guidance based on the colors that you shared. And it worked. It was really, really good system. And she, in California, she had the honor of being the first intuitive reader on staff at a popular 5-star resort, the Ojai Valley Inn. The Ojai Valley Inn, really high-level resort in Ojai. And Ojai is this spiritual town. It's a little small village town, and really sweet place. And it's a healing town, kind of a vortex. It's where the various tribes would gather together at the waters and do their healing work. So this very powerful energy center, and she worked in concierge. She did various jobs there, but then she she attempted concierge at another job too, so I'm kind of mixing it all up. But she definitely worked as a color reader, and she met some there was celebrities coming through there, celebrity family members. She gave readings to a lot of people there, and but that's when her medical flared up again, and she had a really rough time there medically, and that retired her. And they helped her though through that with the medical bills and everything, and getting her the right care and everything. So she thanked them for that. But then she was home, bedridden, and friends helping her with everything for a while there. And luckily she had this beautiful place in the garden, in the cottage to be, and with butterflies flying around, of course, and a great group of friends that would rally around her and help her to get on her feet again and get back up to being able to live good again. And that's when I met her, is when she got to that point where she can get up and out and go enjoy music. And so that's in California where we met, in Ojai. A couple things on YouTube here. I've got live streams. We've been honoring her for 5 days now on the live tab, and then the shorts tab. There's a lot of content, and the posts too. There's a lot there. But this is the joke. We called her the producer during this past year and a half, because she'd be in the background making sure everything was good. I'd make a fool of myself, or I'd do something, that wasn't quite up to par, and I'd hear about it. So, at the tail end there, I guess we can go through that a little bit. The tail end, so there was 3 weeks or so, up to a month, 3 weeks to up to a month, where she went to critical care. First, she went to a local care spot about a month ago, and they told her there was fluid in her, lungs, heart, like there was fluid, and that's what led us to go to the ER. So she made sure everything was taken care of here at home. Like, we had just moved in a couple days previous into our new place here, 2-bedroom. She got it just the way we wanted it to be, 2 bedrooms. So we had our bedroom. She could have her room, her little study. I'd have an office over on this side, and it would be central, so she can access all of everything she needed, because she had different things she would need for her various government support systems and everything. She had food deliveries coming from Mom's Meals, which really helped her out for a long time. Mom's Meals and the food stamps card, provided food, and she had all these services set up. She had disability, so she got a check from disability, check from Social Security. She had her basic income and food and everything coming in, and then medical care, of course. So she had everything set up, and she knew how to manage the business. She knew how to handle her affairs, her budgeting, everything. She lived with less than $1,000. The whole 10 years I knew her, she had less than $1,000, maybe $2,000 if she had stowed away $1,000 more, which came from family or friends who really showed up for her and helped her to have the life she had a little more comfortably. That extra little gift that she got around the holidays allowed her to have that little bit of more flexibility to enjoy life that much more. So we would go out to, Chick-fil-A or go sit at Wendy's. She loved to go out and sit in the air conditioning and have a nice meal, get away from the home, and have a little change of scenery and such. So we did that together, we had just set up this new home here, and she just unboxed only the essentials because she was about living simple. I only unboxed the essentials. We had just set it up just right. Her last wish was to get the internet right here. And she avoided going into the hospital for like that extra day just to get this internet set up to make this all possible. So, but, and then she, we went into the ER and, I sat there with her that whole day, and they told her that her heart was operating at about 20%, of its potentials, and they just looked at it like they were in shock by it all, and they had to admit her. And she was a little hesitant and afraid to get admitted because she's had her fair share of medical, and she knows things. She's done her research. She would run her own medical life. She had her whole medical file, all her paperwork, everything organized. We even brought paperwork to give to all the doctors. The nurse even sent it up to the CEO that said she's got these allergies. She cannot have this, that, or the other. All these, concerns and musts and must nots. We made sure to do that, and that was her thing. She was controlling this whole situation. And then, she was admitted into, overnight, and I would visit every night for a while, and every other night when I had to work, and we'd just, hang out and catch up and talk, and they had all the IVs and everything. I think I got, I only put like one picture on here. It's not the way we want to see her really, but this was her private room. And she had all of her essentials on the little table there, and they made sure to get her the food like diced up really small, and so she can eat it and everything. And she loved her little tea. They bring her like a certain type of tea, so she would be drinking that tea all day. And then she loved these little cough drop things, these whatever they were, like I don't remember what they were, but I've got them over there in the other room. But I got all their stuff laid out. It's going to be a lot to figure that all out. But she had her cell phone, she had her plug-in, I got her sleeping machine over there. She had her little notepad and pen. She had her all that essentials to make it comfortable. Little vanilla drop or little coconut drops to put in her drinks, and she the meals. She did the best she could with those meals, and loved the little cups of pudding or ice cream or whatever. But yeah, just made the most of it. All the IVs and all the blood. They had so many different spots where they had to draw blood, and it was just like they were just trying to figure her out the whole time. And they told her they couldn't actually do any heart surgery, and they couldn't get stents or anything in because her heart was so small and frail, and it was just they couldn't actually do the next step to make it better. And so she was just hanging on there and trying to get to a rehab, trying to get well enough to be able to go into a rehab. So they had different markers they were looking for, and she was partnering. She was making friends with everybody there in every bed, and every nurse and every doctor and every person that did blood or any of that scans. She made friends with everybody there. There was a moment there where, we would connect by video call, and I tried to lighten the mood a little bit. And so I goofed around, and so we have that memory and a little video of that too. And so she got into rehab for a couple days, but then it wasn't going well. She got back into the hospital, and then within a few days of getting back into the hospital, her kidneys began to fail. That's where they took her into the ICU, and they wanted to attempt dialysis, which she knew and they know that dialysis is not, it doesn't have good odds, especially if you're older and you have a immune issue or whatnot. So that was that last night, Monday night, when I brought her she wanted me to bring her a lemonade with iced tea, just a regular tea with lemonade. She called it Arnold Palmer. It was an Arnold Palmer. So I brought her that from Chick-fil-A, which she loved. She absolutely loved Chick-fil-A, where we just sit in the air conditioning and hang out, talk, and just enjoy a nice meal together. And we do that every Saturday for a while there. And so I brought her that. That's all she wanted, just a little. And then they brought her a little straw, a little bendy straw. And so, and then they had this little ice. They had this little cup of ice, and she called it magic ice. Can I have another piece of magic ice, please? And then we'd bring her a little piece of ice, and she'd be able to lubricate her mouth up enough to talk. And so she had her magic ice, and then she got to sip on the lemonade with iced tea, the Arnold Palmer, I guess, a few times, and a big smile, and big, oh, I love it so much. Can I have another sip, please? And then even when the doctors, they said, the nurse or whatnot said, no more, she said, okay, one more, please, just one more. And I gave her that one more sip, of course. And so she was like, she just kept reminding me over those past months, over those months previous here, that she was like becoming a kid again, like a baby. And because she knew the level of care she was starting to need and everything. And so she kept reminding us that, we get to become childlike again. And but that was Monday night. And then they said that dialysis it's the last chance, but we're gonna give it our all. And she knew that and went into it knowingly. And then Tuesday, she told me to get good sleep Monday night. She said, it's going to be a day tomorrow. Please get a good sleep. So I was, I'm trying to tell her to get a good night's sleep, and she's the one telling me to get a good night's sleep. I woke up Tuesday morning, 6:30 a.m. or so, and I had already missed a call from the nurse. And I got a text from Deb that said, come now. And then the doctor called, and I answered, and he said, yeah, this is probably your last chance here. So if you're going to visit, make sure you come now. So I packed everything up best I could. And I even tried to bring stuff for her because I didn't know what to do or what she might need. Or I brought like her little pudding and her little granola bar thing she loved every day, her little pudding and her little granola bar. I brought her her big paperwork crate, and I got there by 7:30 a.m. I was in that room with her, and from 7:30 a.m. all the way to 8:30 a.m. we just, she was trying to talk, but she wasn't able to communicate much of anything that was understandable, except for the I love you, and the very clear I love you, which I know that's not just for me. I know that was for everyone that she got to share this life with. So there was that I love you, and I held her hand 7:30 a.m. all the way. And the doctors were asking if, they were saying that her vitals were beginning to diminish down, and it wouldn't be much longer. And they were saying like, do you want to be resuscitated? And she said no. She told me she didn't want to be resuscitated. They asked if she wanted to just be more comfortable for the rest of the way, and she made it clear that she wanted to just be more comfortable. And I just held her hand, and slowly she just went to sleep. As peaceful, as as could be, as things were fading and whatnot. And the vitals that, they kept keeping me updated of like where it was going, how it was going, and the timing and everything. And so we had our moments together there at the end there, and then she faded off to sleep, um, and then from there, yeah, I just sat there and held her hand for the next like hour and a half till about 10 a.m. And they brought in the chaplain, and when I visited her those last 2 times, Monday night and Tuesday morning, she was so excited when I came into the room. They would say, Deb, your partner's here. Deb, your partner's here. She's like, like so excited, like just, that's those last 2 or 3 times that's what it was like, like I would enter in, and if she could see me or not, or if she could really communicate or not, that was it. It wasn't always easy, but that was like the energy, the excitement, the joy, the love. So, yeah, so I just held her hand till 10 a.m. and the chaplain came and did a ceremony, and the chaplain, got to know her a little bit through our talking and about how she was very natural and very earthly, and we both had our own spirituality, but it wasn't any specific religion. We both had our Jesus connection. We called each other, Deb and I called each other Jesus for the past year or 2. We both called each other Jesus, so it was just our own thing. And people used to call her Jesus back in Ojai even. It's just whatever. I got that too when I was a hippie with the long beard and the big hair and doing all the weird things I was doing back then. So yeah, the chaplain went out into the yard and gathered some things, and these are the tea leaves. These are the three tea leaves that she placed on her chest, and she had like a holy water, salt water thing, and so I got to taste the salt, and then we put the salt into the water, and she walked around Deb and put the tea leaves on her chest, and she began to bless with the waters her heart, and bless her gut, her intuition, and bless her hands, and bless her throat, her voice, and bless her spirit. So she did a whole ceremony and a little bit of song, a little bit of prayer, and that was that. It was and then I just began to reach out as I was sitting there, reaching out to some friends and some family, and tried to inform, and then I've spent the past several days just grieving and processing in my own way, and connecting family, friends, and trying to keep everyone updated, and there was and then let's see what else here. There was a moment there where she thought she could get rehabbed and get home. That was her focus. That was her dedication. That was her determination, her focus, her faith. I got the idea to do this fun short video thing where I'm dancing in front of the mirror, or no, she's dancing in front of the mirror and I'm singing in the shower. Silly short viral thing. And I, at home here, I told her, if you want to do a dancing video. So she got up at the hospital there and did a little dance. So there's a little video of that, of me, her dancing in front of the mirror, basically, in the hospital there with one of her friends in the background that she made, and the nurses helping film, and she was dancing and I then, after she sent that to me, I had to go and jump in the shower with all my clothes on and act like I was singing. And we made a fun viral trend out of it and put that out there. So, but that was a little bit of hope when she got up and was dancing there. But But here's a picture of her sitting up. It was a good day when she was able to sit up over there and get and go to the bathroom on her own and even walk a few steps. Yeah, walk a few steps across the room. Those were the good days. This was our when we first moved in. When we moved in the first night, when we moved into our new place here, we got chocolates gifted from the apartment complex, and she loved these little Cinnabon treats, and we had our favorite champagne. That would we for the big events, the big New Year's and everything, Valentine and all that. We would do the champagne. She loved that champagne right there. So we just treated ourselves after a long day of moving everything over into the new place. Probably hadn't set up much of anything. We were just trying to let loose for the end of the night there. That's the first night. Yeah, so 8:30 a.m. Took her last breath, a chaplain blessing. She was at peace. Yeah, kidneys after heart. Definitely she completed her earthly mission. There's no doubt about that. I mean, she was spirit the whole time she lived here. So definitely a different, very spiritual, shamanistic, colorful, fairy-like, dolphins and rainbows and butterflies and all of that. And then this was her and I at our old place over in Sprecklesville on the land there. One of our best pictures for sure. And I just made this. I think it fits quite well. And she passed on the 24th on Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. So I created this banner, which I'm trying to put that up as our banner on here. This was her and I. We would go out to Colleen's restaurant in Haiku, and we loved that place. We loved that together. Like burger, fries. I'd have a beer. She'd have her root beer, and we just sit and have a nice meal together. And she loved going out. There's a couple spots we loved going together, and Colleen's was definitely one of them. This is her as the producer, even though she didn't really have to run everything, but she got to put her stamp on things here and there. And it was her presence really. And she got to meet all of our guests on 5 Questions right before the interview each time. She'd come out and meet. That was more her thing, the one-on-one, the interpersonal. So she got to do that. And then, so this was we did a Christmas video that we sent to our families. So this is a little video. I'm gonna try to see if I can get some of this videos playing. Let me turn off the music for now because I don't want too many sounds going. So let's see, music first. I'm gonna see if I can play some of the videos. Pause the music, okay, and then go back over to here. Thank you everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. She appreciates it, I'm sure. So video, so that's, that was a Christmas singing to our families, each of us singing to our families. Let me see if I could play a little bit of that. Let's see here. Okay, figuring out how to do it. I'm gonna change up the background a little. How about roses? And pictures, let's see, switch it back over to take that picture off for the moment. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's see if it plays. Let's see if I can actually see it. Hang on a second. So we're at 1.5 hours. We'll go at least a half hour more here. Okay. Okay, here we go. So yeah, this was because we did a little these little singing to our families things. Those were private videos back then. And then I ended up doing a YouTube channel later, and then we did some things together on YouTube. So, but this was even before that. So that's the first one. I'll share there, and then I'll share some more as we go here. But that was very early on. That was in Ojai back a while back. And then here's our sorry, give me a second. This one, so this is when she first joined me for content together, like to actually do something together. We did for the Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl day. It was a joke. I thought I would have a bowl cut for Super Bowl, even though she's a pro hairstylist. So it was a joke for Super Bowl. So she did my hair for 10 years. So I gotta go figure that out again. She did not like football at all, but she watched football with me. She watched the Browns with me every Sunday, even though she didn't care for it, but she got to, she did her best with it all. And let's see here. So yeah, I got plenty of these are all on a playlist called Remembering Deb in my playlist. So you can check all of them out. But I'm just glancing through it right now. So but she got involved in the content a little bit and we had fun together with that. And in the very beginning, she had one video on her channel. She was the first member of Source Network of this person. So I was honoring the first members, and this is her. That's a Teletubbies thing. And then I shared our video when she first visited Maui. We went to our little private beach spot by Mama's Fish House. You can see the view here all the way around. And it's not too proud. It's Mama's Fish House restaurant. They have a little beach, pedestrian access. You can park and just walk. There's this little tiny little beach where there's shallow waters because there's rocks that block the waves from coming in. So it makes it really nice to just wade in the water. So yeah, it's Maui. Having a great time. I'm still in shock that I'm here. Yeah. Pretty wild. It's pretty wild. And property man, yeah. So I was just honoring her for being the first member and sharing her bio and everything. But so yeah, we're just getting little glimpses into some of the content where she was a part of it. I'm just sharing a few things. And we talked about from the beginning how we met and how I would travel and come back to her and how, the day-to-day life and everything and how we connected on the technology when we were separate and then living together and property managing together and just our going out to eat and things and watching shows and movies and sharing snacks and eating our foods and then setting up the new home here. And she put everything she had into getting the right spot and then setting it up right. That's the constant remembrance. Every little detail has her touch to it. Every single little detail, because this is her vision, her plan, her execution. So every little detail, everything, has her touch to it. So it's like, I now know how to live on my own and maintain a place, and live a simple life, take care of myself, earn the income, health, take care of self, keep everything in order, simple, organized, all that. That's all her. And I just it was her vision, her plan. 10 years, she downloaded me with it all, and we set it up. I set it up on my own first. It wasn't perfect, but it was good. And then this time we set this one up together, so it would be right for both of us. And um, but yeah, and it is nice, and so I'm grateful for all of it. And then the Dr. Ninja Turtle visited us a couple months back, and we had a really nice time at a really nice spot and just hanging out. And that video is on the Deb Remembering Deb playlist as well. Um, and it was a big day. She overdid it that day, and she went up these huge steps. She regretted after. We even went and looked at possible places to live after that. She tried to walk up steps to even see if we could live up steps. That was a day that she thought she overdid it, and she thought that was what led to everything too. She thought that was the day where she just overdid. Not there's no blame or anything. She just really wanted to set up, to make it possible for us to set up. So she was trying to do steps and to open up the possibility that we could. And she was enjoying like that day to the max. We really had a good time, and it was awesome. Um, Here's a couple comments from. I only saved a few. I just started last night, so I did. There's so many awesome comments from all of you out there. Um, and I just took pictures of a few of them just to put them up there, and how she even connected with all of you just in the background mostly, and the bonds that were made. Um, it's just how you all are able to reflect back in such a short amount of time and not being able to actually meet her physically is beyond my understanding. So, but you're all so right, and your prayers and condolences are so awesome. Yeah, we did a Christmas special, which is shared in the playlist as well, the Remembering Dead playlist. Um, and we've been honoring her these past 5 days. These are the flowers that lovely Jen sent her way, and I got them over to her. Um, Jen, Easy Street with Jen. They both actually like they had a lot in common, and they connected really over these past couple. I don't know if it's been a month, 2 months, but they really bonded, and they shared stories from the old days back in. They lived in the same area basically, so there was a lot there. And I had to go through the storm to get those flowers back from the rehab, and then bring them to her through the storms and get them to her room. So um, and yeah, there we are at the beach. And then this was our time at the land in near Buellton and Solvang. We did a little bit of raking in exchange for being able to stay there. And we also paid a little bit to stay in the cabins there, but that was the land, the big community. That was a good adventure. Her doing haircuts, and us together at our favorite spot up in Kula Bistro, we always did our holiday meals up there too. And Kula Bistro, we love Kula up there. It's a beautiful area. So we really enjoyed those times up there too. And Christmas, there's Chick-fil-A, of course. And then just our outings. Just there's so many outings, and innings. And golf cart. She absolutely loved the golf cart rides when we lived over in Sprecklesville. We'd go over towards the beach and zoom around, and she loved the air, the breeze, and we'd just sit by the beach. And that was a little bit of an outing to get out of the house too. And so she absolutely loved the golf cart rides. And she loved Christmas lights. So we had those in our home everywhere. We always had those Christmas lights in our home. Every day got to have the Christmas lights. So let me see what other. So golf cart ride. Next video is golf cart ride. So yeah. Skip. Sorry. Okay, so this was the spot where we would go and sit in the golf cart, and we just sit there quietly. A moment of silence. That was our little spot. Sit in the golf cart, and then we went on wild and crazy adventures as well. This is one of everyone's favorites.
From the golf cart, beaches of Maui. Aloha. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? We're zooming in the golf cart. Okay. Okay. You're holding on to it. Yeah, no. Yeah. Whatever you want. Hey, we're out in the golf cart on an adventure. Doris driving. It's much safer that way. Aloha. And see if I can do this without falling out of the golf cart. Hi there, everybody. Aloha. How you doing? Oh, we're on both. Oh, oh. We just left the beach, which we filmed for you. That's right.
Hmm. Yeah, so she loved those golf cart rides. Um, and it brought out the personality. There was magic when we did the filmings together. This one you'll see in this one too. These next two, I became the great chicken hunter, um, and Deb joined me for a little bit of that. But we just we had chickens and roosters waking up our tenants, so I had to go out there with a water gun. It was Deb's ideas to get garlic water and spray bottles and water spray bottles and all that. And then one of our tenants said, get a water gun. So we got a super soaker. And I got into character as the great chicken hunter. So here's Deb joining me for these adventures. Wait a second here. This is fun. Okay.
Oh my
That was the first one. And then she joined me for this next one, which was really fun because we got the golf cart out for it.
The Great Chicken Hunter and Debrael are on the hunt, and we found real live chickens. They're hanging out in the yard. Look at these chickens, everybody. There's more over here, but it's really sunny. so it's more difficult to do my job. Oh, he's crossing my little road. Why are you crossing my road, man? Why are you crossing? I'm gonna drive towards you. I'm gonna drive towards you. Whoa! What was that all about? What did you just say to me? Hey, where you going? Where you going, chickens? Don't be chickens now. Right? Hello. What are your names? I've got 5 questions. I'm driving on the road. What? You talking back to me? What? I got questions. 5 questions. What? How's your YouTube channels, dude? Y'all, chickens. Hey, chickens. Don't walk away from me. We're doing an interview. What do you? How many subscribers do you all have? Aloha. That's all you gotta say. Oh, aloha. There's a hand. There's a hand there. All right, chickens. I have this effect, I know. They run away from me. They can't hang out for my interview. Chickens, come on. All right, I'll see y'all again next time. Maybe come to the support spin wheel tomorrow. All right. Thanks, y'all. Bye for now.
Silly. So silly. Okay. Yeah, let's see if I can share any more of these videos, little glimpses, but they're all these videos are in the Remembering Dead playlist. But I see great shave off. She shaved my beard and gave me a haircut. Check that one out. That was a challenge. Babyface Jamie did it, so he challenged me to do that. So she did that. She stepped into character, and yeah, that was cute. Great shave off show. And then there was 5 months ago we were on Love Talks with Oso and Boogie together. So check that out. Also in that playlist, the Love Talks with Oso and Boogie. That was cool for us to be together on a show, on a live stream, interviewed by Oso and Boogie. And the Thanksgiving specials, we did some really awesome content at the end there. Our Thanksgiving special and our Christmas special that we did together were really sweet, really sweet. And we really did have a powerful presence together when we did things together in that way. 2 months ago, Dr. Ninja Turtle visited, and there's a live stream on there for y'all to check out. And actually, Deb was actually going to be interviewed by Poetic Tears by Sandra on her show, but then she went into the hospital. So that didn't happen. But and then Candy K wanted to have both Deb and I on as well, and that didn't happen because also the hospital, and we were so busy too, and so. But yeah, there's the dancing in the mirror, singing in the shower short is on the playlist there. The 2 weeks ago, Deb shared her journey through the hospital time, her stay there. So that's a live stream on there. Deb sharing her journey through the hospital experiences is on there. And a little video about the lemonade and the tea that I brought. That's on there. And My Way, Frank Sinatra song, there's a short video on there of her as the producer. And then the shorts that I created with the rainbows around the island are on there as well. Deb is Extraordinary, Rainbows, Brenda and I, the story, Needing a Sign, a rainbow. And then Dreams Come True is the second, is part 2, Somewhere Over the Rainbow by Is. And then part 3, Goo Goo Dolls, Iris, Closest to Heaven That I'll Ever Be. Part 3 of the Rainbow Journey Around the Island is on there as well. So that's some of the content. Let's see where we're at now. So thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, Candy K, for that super generous gift. Yeah, dancing in the hospital. Yeah, Deb was. Yeah, thank you so much for the hugs, the love, the condolences, everyone for being here. I will open up the panel a little bit for those of y'all that want to come up and say a few words. And if we go over 2 hours, it's okay. Deb's not here to say enough, end it, 2 hours. come on, we gotta do our day. We gotta go out to eat, So, not, I don't want that to come off the wrong way, but let's take advantage of the extra time, if that's what we want to do today, because this one's for her. So, um, so let's see. I'm gonna drop the link, and I'm gonna continue sharing stories. Feel free to come up and say a few words, and give a chance to others to come up. So we'll keep it a little bit briefer, but be thorough for sure. Let's see. Did I share the link? I don't want to be forgetful. Did I share it? I did share it. Okay, good. So, yeah, we talked about our story. Let's see here. And Hawaii, property managing, our new place here, the hospital. Showed pictures, videos. Let's see. Let's get a few more pictures up there. Or actually, I went through all the pictures. Guests come up, read people's comments. Yep, showing a lot of the things, day in the life. So yeah. Okay. So I dropped that link. We do miss her. Yeah, I'll put messages on the screen. Thank you, Amia, for being here. We miss her so much. And Monique Poe with the butterflies. Let's see if I can put these on the screen. There we go. The butterflies. And Model Lorianne, Simple Family Lifestyle, Exploradora 80, Mike's Adventure Sparks, Luke. Thank you so much. I want to put that on the screen. What a great tribute. There we go. That's on there. I hope I don't have any snot or anything. I apologize, but that's the way it is today. I probably should have had, I think I do have a little tissue right here. There it is. I had that there for, it must have known. The tissue must have known. Okay. Let's see here. So I'll keep sharing it. Deb dancing in the hospital. Yes, Dora. Dora is over in Bali. She's from Australia. Montelori Ann is over on the West Coast. Monique Poe in America. Ryan Tran. Relax with Melissa's over. I forget what country, but over there, way over there to the east. Thank you, Mel. Such a beautiful celebration for Deb's life. You're amazing for taking time to heal, share your life together, and grieve all at the same. Thank you, Mel. New Zealand, is that right? New Zealand. Exploradora, Ellen Smile over in New Jersey. Her husband passed recently, Steve. So we got to get to know him a little bit, and their journey together and their love. And also Cindy Lifestyle and More, her husband passed recently. These are guests on our 5 Questions show, Ellen and Cindy. Valentina Viles, thank you for coming in. Mark Crow, thank you, everybody. Lala, High Vibe Coach in the building. Welcome in. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for being here. New Zealand, yes, Melissa. Sorry, yeah. Joe Valdez, of course, is here. Sweet young man. And yes, you're so strong, Deb. You're a warrior. Deb, the ultimate warrior, for sure. Warrior of love and peace, of course. Yeah, I like these pictures. I like the rainbows, the butterflies, the fairies, and the hearts. The rainbow hearts, of course, too. Yes. Andy Mon with the butterflies. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And feel free to come up. I just dropped the link. Feel free to, if you want to say a few words. We'll keep going a little bit longer. Niffer. Thank you for the rainbows and butterflies as well. And yeah, so she was and is and will always be the perfect partner. I was just a hippie, I just lost my business in Ohio. I just crossed the country to California I was just told I did a whole spiritual hippie thing in California, going to festivals and networking with light worker change makers and, working on projects to bring in a better world and all that. And living in a van in the streets of LA mostly. And they told me, LA people told me, go to Ojai, California, go up to Ojai. That's where your people are at. That's where you should be. And my crew, we went up to Ojai and we landed at, there's an older woman there in Ojai, and we landed on her couches there, and we had our cars so we could sleep in both, but cars, vans, and couches. And I stayed there and helped the woman for a while. And I was able to help her with the woman, Joan, with her needs, feeding her cat and her dog and walking the dog. And Joan was in bed there. So I, was able to bring her food. I learned to cook a little bit from Joan, and I was able to bring her food and just be there and listen to Joan and in Ojai there and go do her grocery shopping and drive her around and all the things. It prepared me quite well. And but then it was also a little stressful helping Joan there in Ojai. And Chris Lee, sorry, I messed it up. Chris Lee, welcome in. Good to see you, Chris, the deacon in the building. So it prepared me well, but then I needed to get away from Joan and that whole, it was too much. It's too much. So that's when I went out to the bars and had the drink and watch music, listen to music. And that's where Deb also was doing the same and going out, but she was going out because she knew she was going to meet her mate and she loved music. And I was going out to just have a drink and network to try to get some musicians for the festival that I was planning, working on the One Love experience. And I had no idea what was coming next. And then the experiences, the bonds, and the journey that would unfold. And people would tell us that our story, our journey, should be a book, should be a movie, and no doubt. And even Deb wrote in her last week there, she wrote down a name for her book or our story. So it's going to write itself. It's going to produce itself through everyone and everything and all the stories. And I don't know. Rudy wants to come up. Rudy, all right, Rudy, we'll give you a couple minutes. Please stay focused on Deb and how she made you feel. Just a few minutes, Rudy. We love you, Rudy. Give you a chance here. Hey, Rudy.
Hello.
How you doing?
Oh, real good. Fine.
Okay. So, how did you love Deb?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I know that she passed away. Did she?
Yeah, it's tough, but we love you, Rudy. We love
Was
you.
she young when she passed away or old?
Yeah, she's 66. Yeah.
Oh, she's your mother, is she?
No, not my mother. Some people thought that, but no, she was my partner. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and then you did lost your grandparents, did you?
I mean, long time for me. Yeah, I did long time ago. Yeah.
I was looking at your obituary, and
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
that they all lived to be 99, almost 100.
Yeah, I told you I shared that story. Yeah, mine did. Yeah.
So you were
Yeah.
doing like a 100-day challenge or a 99-day challenge?
Sure, Rudy, sure. Yes. No. So, but thank you so much for being a part of this, Rudy, and everything. And coming up and just sharing your love and appreciate you, Rudy.
So
All right.
did you see Mama G live?
All right, Rudy. Well, I'm gonna say goodbye now. Thank you for coming up,
Right.
though. You have a great day. Thank you. Rudy's a special guy. He's got autism, and he comes up on our panel every chance he can, and he's got a lot of quirks and fun things he does, like counting to 100 and asking us to say numbers and things. But that was sweet of him to come up here. Luke says Deb never met a stranger. That's true. No, she bonded with everybody. Whoever she met was automatically in her aura or positive energy, made it better for everyone she talked with. Absolutely. And then she maintained a lot of those friendships for a life too. Um, but yeah, oh, questions. Um, Dora said, "How said hello first, Dora?" I approached her first and said hello. But the message was in both of our heads that we were like each other, and then I approached her, but she said I approached her the second time that we saw each other. So so we must have saw each other first time the listening to music, and then the second time I approached her. Who said hello first at the bar? I said hello first. I approached her and said hello first. Yeah, age has no limit, right? Right. Um, and Yoga Goga says, "My heartfelt condolences, source in the loss. It shall be well. May you find solace in the memories when she graced this earth." Thank you, Goga. Thank you, Goga, for that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. We're just hitting 2 hours. I mean, we still got time and space. We got time and space, y'all. But if y'all have anything to do, the replay will be available. ASFLA1, thank you for welcome in. Thanks for coming. Um, and so I've gone on so many different tangents and flowing around here so much today. It's like hard to know where I was just at in the thing. But yeah, she was really sweet and really smart and really creative. And she was an artist and in her younger days, of course, and loved music. And she loved to like just listen to her music, a lot of the like rock and roll classic, get back to her good old days music and just be home. She was home a lot, so listen to her astrology and messages and have phone calls with her friends and her family members and catch up and hold space for each other and everything. And Dora is not sure I can get on StreamYard on my phone. Oh, I'd love it. If you would come up, I would love it. I'd love it if you would come up here. We still have space and time, so I will drop the link again if a few of you would like to come up one at a time and share anything. There's space for that. Time is not a limitation. Today is Saturday. I'm off work. Saturday, no work. Sunday, no work. Monday, I go in for 3-4 hours. I have time, and this is the first chance I really got to really just be, and because it's Tuesday, from it happening to working in the afternoon on deliveries to then Wednesday working all day to then Thursday working a short day, which was a little bit of space to drop into myself again. And Thursday, I got up to Kula after my delivery route, and I visited a strawberry farm up there. I shared that on my post tab. This beautiful Kula strawberries farm up there, and rainbows were there, and it was beautiful. Goats and chickens and donkeys and strawberries growing and orchards and everything, and just a really cute little spot. So that was nice to go up there and just kind of relax. And I hadn't got to visit that. Deb loved Kula so much. Like if we could have lived there, we would have. It was just a little further away from everything, but it's so beautiful up there in Kula. It's just more her vibe, 100%. But Melissa, Relax with Mel is here in the back room. We're going to bring up Relax with Mel on the stage. Here we go. Oh, hold on. Can anybody hear her? Hang on a second. Can anybody hear her? I want to make sure that everybody can hear her. In the chat, let us know if you could hear her first. I'm going to put my earbud in just in case it's on my end. But let us know in the chat. No audio. Oh, no audio. See if you can do something with your audio. Sorry, can't hear. Okay, so work on that. She's working on that. Okay. Yeah, I got up to Kula and had a really nice little time up there, and more rainbows, more butterflies. I'm going to see if I can get a glimpse into our. Oh, there she. Oh, Ellen smiles here. All right, we're going to give Ellen a chance. Oh, let's see. Mel. Let's see if Mel's volume is ready first. Mel, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
This is not working.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah, much love, Jerome. Such a hard time for you, and I think
Thank
many
you.
are still in shock. But yeah, I just wanted to give you my love and support. I think you're doing incredibly well. Yeah, but yeah, take time, take as much time as you need. Yeah, here for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What do you remember from Deb through your limited?
Yeah, she was just such a kind heart, beautiful soul, and always, always on your live streams, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
being the producer, being the co-pilot.
I
I
know.
think, yeah,
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 we're gonna miss her, for
yeah.
sure. Just
Absolutely.
yeah, beautiful smile
Yeah,
and laugh, and her humor. Yeah,
yeah. Okay, awesome.
yeah,
And you don't have to stand here too long. I think Ellen might be
yeah.
available and ready to come on here. So I know you just want to make an appearance and say a few words. See if I can do that. Her fingers didn't bend, so like she would have like some like thing.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
sweet. Okay, I'll let Ellen come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mel. See you around. Okay. Let's see if Ellen's ready. Let's see if add to stage.
Hi, Duran.
Ellen.
How are you?
Hey, I'm doing all right. How are you, Ellen?
Good. I don't have a camera on because it's better that way. But I
Okay.
just want to say that Deb was truly a class act, and she was really kind to the core, and she didn't have a mean bone in her body.
No.
And
No.
I just want to say that she had such a sweet spirit
No.
and a beautiful, creative soul. And though she often worked behind the scenes, she meant so much to all of us. And we loved her dearly, and I believe genuinely cherished the friendship she built along the way. And she will definitely be missed. And I do remember sometimes if you had somebody on, you wouldn't be on, like you would be mute, but I could hear you talking. I think she was talking with you, like
Yeah.
slow it up or make it faster or be
Right.
quiet.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
wanted to say that I love you, Duran, and if you need anything, God bless you. I really mean it sincerely. I just can't even speak because when I found out, I was just so blown away because I had no idea, you know.
Yeah.
But I
Love
love
you.
you, and I always wish you the best. God bless you.
Love you too. God bless you. And yeah, and I had no idea either, experiencing, what you went through with Steve um and just I watched all of your videos, you sitting side by side with him and him just kind of looking around or goofing off or saying some wisecrack thing
Yeah.
and how hard that was when he passed and um I had no idea that this would be coming.
But the only thing I can say right now is that my community really helped me. And
Yeah,
I truly believe that your community is here for you. And
right.
you'll always have them, and they'll give you strength and comfort and love. And I think that's a good thing. Even if you want to be by yourself, you still
Yeah,
have them. And it's good that you
sure.
can put on your camera and be live and have people that care.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank
Yeah.
you. You
All right. I'm
say
going to
you
let you go. I don't want to
yeah,
keep
yeah.
you, but I just want to say God bless you. I love you so much, Duran.
Thank you, Alan. God bless you. Love you
God
too.
bless you too.
See
All
you
right. Bye
later.
bye.
And then Exploradora 80 is here as well in the back room. She's been in Bali and she's from Australia. Really sweet. Let's bring her on the stage.
I can't hear. Can
Hello?
you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Oh, I can't hear you.
I
I
hear
can.
you.
Can you hear me? I can't hear
Yeah, we
you,
hear you.
but I can hear you. I'm sending you
Yeah, we hear you.
hugs.
Aw, thank you.
Okay. I just wanted to tell you how much I condolences to Deb, to you, to her family. Obviously, here in the community, Deb was part of you, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't just the source; it was Deb and the source. So we're just sending all our love to you and to Deb. She's a butterfly out there. flying free. I just want to share the reason why I connected with Deb was over rebounding. She loved to jump,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and I love
Yeah.
to jump. And I know for a while there she stopped because of her health.
Yeah.
And she'd always ask me, "How's rebounding, Dora? How's rebounding?"
Yep.
So, you know, that's how we bonded over movement. I love movement. It's always good for us. So I see Deb jumping over rainbows.
That's right.
Okay. And she's smiling for you. She's always going to be smiling for you. So sorry I can't hear you. I don't know why I can't hear you, but I just want to show you where I am. Because
Yeah.
this is, I see Deb floating around somewhere. Okay. I don't know if I can turn it
And
around. I
then,
could try.
oh wow, is Bali? You can't hear me. Yeah, it's Bali. Yeah, beautiful Bali, y'all. Bali, amazing.
So that's where I am at the moment.
And
Yeah, it's very pretty. I'm sorry I can't hear you. I don't know why.
I've
But
got
yeah, this is
another
just okay.
guest.
Hold
I know you can't hear me, but in the chat, read the chat.
on. It's up.
Read the
Nothing. I
chat.
don't know. I'm on my phone. Oh, hold on. Okay, hold on. Remove from backstage. No.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up next guest, Luke Axum, her relative here, and I'm gonna bring him up next here.
Hey, appreciate you
Hey.
giving us a second chance here
Okay, sure,
today.
sure.
2 for 1. Awesome. You know, as we were just listening to the live stream and everything, and just listening to some of the stuff you were bringing up, you mentioned story about the swings earlier on, and that just kind of brought up a memory from when I was younger. You know, we would go to my grandparents' farmhouse up in Indiana every now and then. You know, we would all, it would kind of be like a family reunion, and you know they they had this porch swing out front. They actually had two. They had two porch swings, and always wanted to be out on the porch swing. She would just sit out there for hours and hours, reading a book, interacting with any of the animals. You know, that just kind of brought up a memory. She loved the swings.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She
Yeah,
told me about that a lot. Yeah, yep. And then I think in college she said she was by a little stream and she got to sit out and you know, same thing, just watch the stream and just be in her little bliss outside. Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Yeah, and that's what she tried to recreate. She lived in the little cottage in the little fairy gardens in Ojai, and she recreated it there. And then we did our best at our previous place. She had a little window to look out into the 2 acres of beautiful yard. And um, yeah, yeah. Thanks for coming back on.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Any
We're good. We're good. We
y'all
appreciate it, Doran.
post. It's a lot of energy. Yeah,
For
I'll
sure.
go a little longer here. Y'all are welcome to come and go, but um, yeah, just I want to make space for some of the YouTubers to come on here, share a few words.
That was nice.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you all for coming on. Thank you all. Y'all good? Let me drop the link as well. Let's see here. And have space for some more guests come up and say a few words and we'll see how much longer it goes, but this is what we're doing. This is the now. This is the present moment. And I'll take them off the screen, but if they want to come back up, they can come back up for sure. Yeah, beautiful memories. And Brenda, her friend, was telling me, she sent me a few pictures of Deb. They met 6th grade, her friend Brenda and her, and So I have a picture. She didn't say if I could share the picture, so I didn't share pictures. But they did a sleepover, so a little picture of them at a sleepover, and then her doing some goofy thing like this, like in the picture from their sleepover or whatnot. So um, being dramatic. I think she said she was being dramatic. So, but yeah, she told me lots of stories about her being a really successful, athletic, swimmer, um, and many stories, yeah, about her being out in the yard and singing spiritual, or peaceful, loving songs, and rolling around on her bike in circles, or sitting in the swing set and rocking for hours, or watching nature. And there was also times when she said she was a brat, and you know had her little fights with her dad. So she had her mom and her dad passed not too long ago, and so I heard a lot of stories of her love for her parents and how good they were to her, and and then the time she was stubborn and get pulled across the room and or whatever, and for doing something so bad or something. So, but there was stories, and then there was stories of her brother passing at a young age on a motorcycle in LA, and I got to know also her dating, yeah, the brat comment. Yeah, 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 because you knew about that. She said she would hold her door closed because her dad was so mad at her. She'd keep her door closed. She'd put her feet up against the door so that her dad couldn't get in because she was so mad, because she was so stubborn and something. I don't remember what the story was, but I guess they were the same. Her dad and her were the same, one and the same, and they would back and forth at each other and be bratty back and forth at each other. And then her mom, I guess, would just take care of everything and make everything nice and just manage every little thing. And that's what she's like. Oh, she's like just thinking, I hope I'm not becoming my mom, and you're like my dad, and so yeah, she's a little like my mom too, actually, Deb is. So there's some similarities. And it does remind me, definitely. Sally D, how are you? Um, Kendra, hey. Emmykins, hey, hey. Thanks for coming. Simple, everybody. Dora, thanks everybody for being here. But yeah, she talked about being that brat, and because she was her own self, that's for sure. Different. Just wanted everyone to be love and together, and she talked about like she would bring home like she had boyfriends that were black, and I'm Jewish, and like there's all these like she would just do it her way. She would do it her way, and she'd have relationships with people of different cultures, and I guess the Indiana, that it's not always like that. So she brought a little bit of a worldly, sort of thing to the family and experience. And yeah, she'd tell me about her different. She would be in Fort Lickerdale. She called it Fort Lickerdale when she lived in Fort Lauderdale and Pompano Beach. I actually went on spring break down to Pompano Beach in Fort Lauderdale, so we crossed paths many times. I was in Arizona, I was in Florida, I was in Oregon, California. She was in Florida. I was in Indiana. My best friend moved over to Indiana, so I was over there for Christmases for multiple years in a row. So there was Indiana. I was Indiana too. She was all those places. I was all those places. So there was a whole thing going there. At Broward County. And yes, Deb was so special, says Emmykins. You are so special, Dora, and the world needs more people like you too. We are all blessed today. Thank you so much. Chris Horde is here. Mike's Adventures, Sally D. Yeah, she talked about Fort Lickerdale in her younger days when she would work as a hairdresser, and then she would um, go out to there was all the bikers, motorcyclists. She would hang out with the strippers and the motor. That was what she always said. She would always hang out with the strippers and the motorcyclists. She was a little bit of a wild child, she called herself. She would just hang out with the strippers and the motorcyclists, and lots of stories about those days, and the trouble they'd get into, and all that sort of stuff. And she'd work just the amount she wanted to work, and then she would go out and have fun, just the right amount too. And not the strippers, yeah, not the strippers. Oh no, not the strippers. She had stripper friends, yeah, 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 and motorcycle friends, yeah. And she rode the. I saw a picture, I think, of her on a motorcycle, um, and yeah, Florida, um, and then yeah, and then just like journeying over Arizona and becoming all went on a different path after haircutting. She went on a different path towards astrology and numerologies and no, I was not a stripper. No, I didn't meet over there. I was on California. That's where I met her. But I guess that Ojai Deer Lodge used to be a motorcycle bar before it was just a bar restaurant. But no, no. No, I was silly. I would throw on what are those things? I forget. Just goofy stuff. I'd get goofy and do silly stuff, but nah. Um, and yeah, in Arizona, that's when she went out on her own and decided to go a different path. And oh, a tutu. I threw on the tutu. I threw on the tutu. I found some silly tutu thing. I was just goofy with that. But yeah, so she went over to Arizona and was out on her own with. I think she probably just took her car and her things and went and just left the whole haircutting thing and went and into these new spiritual fields and went out on her into new frontiers because color reading is not. I would not know about color readings unless I met her. So, and then she mastered that system and went out and did it at the highest level. Um, and so yeah, and then yeah, from Arizona out to California again, going out on her own and taking the risks and with nothing, I'm sure, and just got into debt. I got into debts too, so she went out. And California was another adventure, and getting set up and starting from zero, I'm sure, and getting a job like I did, getting a simple job just to be able to be in the town to make it work, and getting a simple little place to stay that's temporary. It's not the best and most healthy spot, but she told me about that. And Dora was gonna ask you while on screen, how did you end up in Maui together? We shared that story a good amount on here, but yeah, we got. I ended up flying over to Maui after I had nowhere else to go at the tail end there, and couldn't stay with her much longer in California, and then I flew over and got set up in Maui, and built it up to a point where she could come over and join me, and yeah, she did. She came over and helped me to set up that old home over in Sprecklesville, and then we did 5 good years over there, and then just set up this new spot here, and you know. But that's a brief abbreviation, of course. Kyle, welcome in, Kyle, and High Plains Camper and Juan Perez, welcome everybody. And yeah, so she was in California, and starting with nothing, sounded like, and building up and making relationships out there and getting better jobs. And she got that gig at the Ojai Valley Inn, and was doing okay. Got a nice place and a little cottage in the backyard, and made some really good connections to be able to lock in that spot. And Section 8 HUD housing, she locked that in. It was magic and miracles how it all set up. And then she lived in that town for like 15 or 20 years, 15 plus years in that little cottage, and made a lot of good friendships, of course, and long enough for me to make it there, and for us to meet each other, and the rest is history. So, but give it a little bit more time and not too much longer. So if you do want to come up on stage and say a few words, we're at the tail end of this celebration here, and it's not gonna. And she's I guess I've got a muse now. I guess I've got a muse now. So the old pics of Deb and you bet 10 years ago. I shared some pictures. I could share these pictures and then I could try to delete these and then see if I can put up some more, if you give me a second. But 10 years ago when we met, I don't think I got that far back in the pictures, except for maybe this is just after. This was the first couple years we knew each other in California there, and then um, that's here, and then one of these pictures was back there in Ojai, but oh, this one was back at her place in Ojai. I did these. I went online. I did these Zoom type call, Facebook video things, live streams back then. I would wake us up every morning early. She made the coffee, and I would do a change the world broadcast, and she would sit behind me. So there's still some of that on YouTube. At the very first videos on YouTube, she's sitting behind me, and we're talking spiritual and connecting with light workers and change the world projects and all that. So she sat through all of those back then, went in Ojai. And let's see if I can make a little space for a few more pictures to be added up here. If you give me a moment to do that, I'm just clearing out these pictures for now. But if you'd like to come up and share a few words, you're welcome to come up and share a few words. This has been a celebration of life. We've got Tuesday. She passed at 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday, and this is like day 5 now. And we've been sharing on the YouTube channel a lot of different content, remembering and honoring and celebrating Deb and everybody else. I've been amazed by the amount of support. Everybody's shown up in such a big way. Like, a lot of y'all have been posting on your post tab, memory, honoring, celebration, condolences for Deb, and also sharing out your own live streams and your own moments of silence. Dr. Ninja Turtle did a moment of silence the other day. Easy Street with Jen has been honoring. Sally D's Reality did an honoring over there and a prayer on her live stream. Poetic Tears Sandra did multiple live streams, holding space and prayers for Deb and everything. And so many of y'all posted. I can't even recall it all, but so many of y'all posted support on your channels over these past 5 days. And it's helped a lot with the grieving process and the remembering and the honoring. I'm going to see if I can add some more pictures on here. If you just give me a moment to do that. See in the chat, Kyle is here, Explorador, Juan Perez. All right, I'm going to see if I can add some more pictures on here. So thank you for your patience on this. I'm just clearing out some space. They give you a good amount of space on StreamYard for this, but it's always be more. All right, let's see if I can add more here. One moment here, photo library, and then I've got Deb and me picture album in here, people and pets. Yeah, it'd be good to get some more pictures on here. Let's see which ones I can add that y'all haven't seen yet. This silly one. How about that one? How about let's see what else here. Pictures. Love Talk, Boogie and Oso. That's cute. And then pictures. Let's see here. I'm just going to share a bunch of them. Oh, Deb in the golf cart. Let's do that one. Oh, there we go. Do that one. That one. That one. Okay, that one. Okay, here we go. Finding a bunch more. That one. Okay, that one. Okay, that one. Oh yeah, I got lots more pictures here, y'all. Lots more pictures. Judy. Yep, get Judy up there. Okay, Kula. Got Kula picture. All right, we got lots more. Let's put all those up there. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. You could do it. You could do it. Come on, baby. You could do it. Come on, technology. We can do this. We can do this. Sorry, patience. Oh, I got some pictures. I got some pictures going. I got some pictures. It's a start. All right. There's so many good pictures on here. Kyle, you can come up and say a few words about Deb and how she made you feel, any memories as well. Once I'm done sharing these pictures, here's Deb and I on our appearance with Love Talk with Boogie and Oso. Here's her doing the haircut. Fun one. This is actually, you can tell she was a little overwhelmed. This was like we hung out with our landlord and his partner right as we were moving out, and it was just a lot of work to pack everything up to move out of there, and a lot of emotion too to be shifting everything to a new home and everything. But that was a nice night to bond and hang out with our landlord and his partner Laura. They were really good to us. We were good to them. It was a good thing over at our old place. Here's me goofing off on a Zoom call or a whatever call. So she's laughing, but it hurt her to laugh. So that was tricky, but that's me. Silly me. This is us up in Kula at a beautiful spot called Ocean Vodka. She bought a hat and I bought a little Ocean Vodka thing, and I still have those Ocean Vodka things. I'm finishing them off and drinking those vodkas for her in her honor. Kyle's going to come up after this slideshow. For a few minutes, Kyle can talk about Deb and how he made her feel and any memories. And there's Deb, and there's she in our place, our old place with our little turtle on the wall. That was her spot where she'd sit by the window, and behind her is the door where Harley the pig would come up. So you keep the door open in the back, the Harley, the breeze can come in. We could feed Harley out that back door and brush him with the different brushes and everything and massage him, and he'd lay down and just hang out with us. Harley the pig loved listening to us sing to him and just lay there all day with us. Deb did have a walker these last several years here, which made it more able for her to get around, and there was like a bed support thing for her to get in and out of bed, and the toilet support for her to get up and in, out of the toilet and everything. And so she had her systems, she always on the surface had it all together and was doing really well. But there was, and then here's some of her friends visited us here in Maui, and that was really fun to get together with her friends and hear all the stories and talk story and everything. And Deb and I go into football, watch the Browns games. She toughed it out, even though it wasn't her thing. Went with me to watch football, and I don't know, we just threw the Christmas lights. So we bought a lot of sets of Christmas lights, and I had to replace those Christmas lights so many times, but I did. We would tape it up there just right and pin it all so it would be just perfect, because she needed it to always look just perfect. So many times we took down and put up those Christmas lights. This is a little breakfast place in town here in Maui. So nice little spot. That's us up in Kula at Ocean Vodka. This is just a picture of us with our dressed up nice for something. This is our landlord and his partner Laura when they were together here in Maui at a nice Argentinian restaurant with a view. Kendi K is here in the back room as well. So we're going to get Kyle up there for a few minutes and then Kendi K up for a few minutes to talk about Deb. This is a beautiful spot out in Lahaina side. We went out to breakfast out there. Beautiful spots. This is Argentina restaurant, or that could also be another beautiful spot in town here. This is her good friend Judy came to visit us in Maui, and we went up to Kula That's a horse up on Oprah's ranch up there. There's a horse came out, hung out with us. That's Judy. Judy had Deb stayed at Judy's place in Ojai before she moved over. Judy helped a lot. They have a really good relationship. This was my birthday party in Kihei. Deb's there and just some friends and my birthday gathering. That's that beautiful spot again, Argentinian restaurant. All right, we're gonna have Kyle up for a few minutes, and then Candy K will come up for a few minutes as well. So let's get Kyle up here first. Kyle Vlogs. Hey, buddy.
Hey, how are you?
Kyle, you there?
Can you
anybody
hear me?
hear Kyle?
Can you hear me?
Let us know in the chat if you can hear Kyle.
Can you hear me at all? Hold on.
Let us know in the chat if you're able to hear Kyle or not. I'll put my earbuds in to see if I can hear him on my
If you
if it's
want, I
on
can
my
go out
end or not.
and
Let's see here.
can you hear me this time?
It looks like he's talking, so loud and clear. Okay, good. They hear you, Kyle. They hear you.
Can you hear? Can
I'm
you hear me
just
this
gonna
morning?
put you on my tablet so I can hear you as well. This is where the technology goes at some point, and then I just have to listen through the tablet, and we'll have a little bit of a delay. So bear with us on that.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, Kyle, take it away.
So the thing that I learned so much about Deb, she is such a caring, loving, kind human being, and she has brought me so much joy and happiness. And the thing that I love about her that she is so wonderful and kind. She's always been so supportive of other people, and that's what I like about Deb. And I'm hoping she's listening because I know she's in spirit with God right now, and I just want her to know that we love and care for her so much. So I love you so much, Deb, and I'm glad you're in a better place with God and Jesus. We love you so much.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you. That was really heartfelt, Kyle, and I appreciate you coming up here, sharing that.
Yeah, no worries.
Candy K is ready. If you don't mind, I'm going to bring her up next.
Yeah, I can just stay in the
Thank you,
backstage
Kyle.
if you want.
Just going to do one guest at a time.
Yeah, no worries. You can just put me backstage if you want.
I'm going to do one guest at a time for right now. All right. Thanks, Kyle.
Hey, Source.
Hey, Candy.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I am still just in utter shock that we have lost our dear Deborah L.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and Deb left me with such a beautiful memory to have you and Deb. Y'all came over with the Joy Bus on the Joy Raid just this past last Saturday. And I was cooking some salmon croquettes.
Yep, you were. Yep.
And broccoli. And Deb dropped memberships on my channel.
She did. That's right.
Yes. So she that's one thing they say in our culture is that at your birth, God knows your birthday and your death day all at the same time. So she was wrapping matters up, so to speak.
Did you know the first day ever that Easter, I think first day ever that Easter was held, I think that's what it was, is March 24th. I think that's what it said.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's the birth and that's the death of Jesus and the rebirth of, I don't know it that well. Y'all probably know, some of y'all know it way better than I do, but yeah.
Well, Source, I just wanted to pop on
you.
and offer my sincerest condolences. What a beautiful experience you have created, and it was so touching to connect with her family who loved her just as much as we loved her. Um, I I just my heart breaks for you, and you are in my prayers and all of the warm thoughts, and just take it day by day, Source. There's a range of emotions when you lose someone who means so much to you. You
Thank you.
you've lost your partner in life, and
Thank you. And I'll come on. We were gonna. She was really excited actually to come on your show, like together, her and I, and also Poetic Tears was going to interview her too. So there was those two events that we were looking forward to having. And then she went in, so didn't happen. But you know,
you were so strong, Source. Wow, all that you were trying to handle behind the scenes.
right.
God bless you. God bless you. And so take your time. Take your
Yeah.
time.
Well,
Yeah.
she was made sure that it wasn't too much for me. That's the thing. She always made sure that
Wow.
things were good for me too first, even though she was the one laying in the bed there. Like she was making sure, like, okay, Doran, just come by on the days when you're not working all day. We can talk on the technology the other nights when you're working. How's your internet? How's everything that, the new place? How is it this good? Is that good? Is this working? Is the shower good? Is there hot what, all those things. And she's managing everything from there. And so, yeah, yeah,
And it's the circle of life. The circle of life is complete.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But if anybody made it, surely she did.
yeah,
Surely she did. I wish I was a singer. My sister, she is a gifted singer, pound cake experts, and she sings this song at times about being bound for Mount Zion, way out on a hill.
yeah,
Deb, she made it. She made it to Mount Zion. If anybody made it, if anybody made it, surely she did. She did. No
yeah.
more pain. No more pain source. No
Nope,
more inflammation.
nope,
You
none of
don't
that.
need your kidneys anymore. God's got it. He's got
Yeah,
the whole world in his hands. He's got the
that's
whole
right. He's got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole wide world in
world.
his hands. He got the whole
He's
world
got the
in
whole
his hands. He's got the
wide world.
whole world in his
He's
hands.
got the whole world in his hands.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen.
She loved singing, and she loved to hear me sing too. She's telling me she told me I was getting pretty good at singing. I don't know. She's
Oh,
exaggerating a little
oh,
bit.
oh, 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 I don't know about that source.
You and I
You
both.
do just
You and
fine.
I both. No.
We do just fine in our showers and things, don't we?
We
Yeah.
love we love to sing. We yeah.
Yes.
Who knows if you and I ever get our first what are the awards for singing? I don't even know what they're called.
Right. Something. We'll make our own even better. We'll make
That's
our
right.
own.
We'll call them the Candies and
The
Sources
Sources. You
awards.
should do the Sourcey Awards.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll
Deb
do
the
it all.
producer. Deb
Deb, the
the
producer. She's yeah. If she wants it, it'll happen. Yeah,
She
she's
would have
running the
loved
show.
this. She would
She's
have
running the whole.
loved this. All of the moments
She
you are
is.
creating. She would have
She
loved.
is.
You did well.
Yeah, she's
My
loving it.
favorite image you put together was that of the producer. That
Yeah. Oh yeah.
image that you put together. Lovely,
Yeah.
lovely.
That you inspired me to make that little cartoon here. Where is it? This one here.
Yes,
You just shared a comment the other day, and I just created this cartoon real fast, and uh,
yes.
that's it. It is perfect.
That is perfect.
And the my
That is
way part, like she micro sounds bad, but she managed everything for everyone that she could. Yeah.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, Source, you are in my heart, and I'm
Thank
cooking
you.
doing my meal prep for the week. But I
Yep.
did want to hop on and offer our condolences from the Content Creator Collective, from the Shop Talk family, because your family is mine, and my family, my YouTube family, is yours, and we are with
Correct.
you. We are with you, brother. We are with you, and
Thank you.
my heart
We'll,
breaks for you. I just
we'll
want to
keep it going.
love you and squeeze you tight.
Oh, thank you. We'll keep it going in her honor, and she's the force now. So I've got a muse. I've got a muse. I don't know. I've never had a muse before. I trust that like
Yeah.
we're so you know,
Oh
mingled,
yes,
bonded, and
for
that
real.
so keep going.
Be encouraged, and let us know how we can support you.
Thank you. All right, King. Take care.
Take good care.
Thank you. God bless you.
Bye for now.
Bye for now. Yep. All right, I got more pictures, so I'm gonna keep digging here, because I want to get back to some of those. My phone I've got thousands and thousands of pictures, y'all. So, let's see how far back we can get here with the pictures. Um, Give me a moment here to set that up. So I was just starting to share some of these pictures on the screen. Let's see if we can go a little bit further or keep going through them a little bit here. Oh, these are nice. These are nice. Look at these ones. Look at these ones, y'all. And then this one, Ojai, and then my old place. Or yep, let's do that one. Let's do that one. Let's do that one. That one. That one. That one. Okay, here we go. Come on. Come on. Work. You can work. You can work. It can work. Come on. Get up. There we go. It's going. It's going, y'all. It's going. All right. We're just going to keep going through pictures. Comments. What's going on with comments here? Regular, small, 5-starred. No. Okay. All right. Here we go, y'all. Pictures time. So this, one of her family, a couple of her family members visited recently. Ralph and Sarah and their various family members and their loved ones. They visited as a group, and that was us out enjoying a nice meal. I think that was in Paia at a fish restaurant. We all went out to eat together. This was at the Mama's Fish House uh, at the shoreline there. Beautiful spot, and yeah, those are great pictures. And this was my old place before the Sprecklesville place. When she visited a few times, I was staying in that little cottage kind of home in Haiku there before that was when she visited a few times. So that was cute. That was great. Um, that so that's back a little bit. Um, and that was back a while back, looks like. And yeah, I was back in Ojai. You can tell a lot of time passed because that was back in Ojai where she lived when I first met her. You can tell health wise, like body wise, like she went through a big shift over the years. Because then this is more like Maui time. This is when she visited Maui. So there was some years between those two. This is in Ojai. See, yeah, look at that. In Ojai when I met her. And we went out to the Ojai Deer Lodge where we met out for Thanksgiving there in the first couple of years knowing her. So that you could tell, yeah, it's a big difference. That's the Ojai Deer Lodge. Our Thanksgiving dinner, we went out together there. And then that's probably when she visited me in Maui. One of the first couple times visiting me in Maui. And then, yeah, that's one of those first times she visited me. Let's see who's in the chat, and then I'm going to get more pictures going. If I could figure out this chat, what it's doing, why I'm not able to look at the chat right now. Tall, small. Let's see here. There's got to be a button I can push. There we go. I figured it out. Okay. Emmy Kins is here. Yoga Goga. Brenda Huckabee. Brit Family Fun. Motivated. Yoli. Thanks, everybody. Purpose Productivity Faith. Kyle. God bless you too. All right, I'm gonna Red's Cafe here. Yep, thank you for being here. I'm gonna go ahead and share more pictures. This is good. Chris Ford is here. I'm gonna go ahead and share more pictures. Um, so let me delete these ones off of here and keep going through because we're starting to get back there to the Ojai days a little more. Thank you everybody for being here and your patience, and this has been a celebration of life for Deb Rael. That was her stage internet name, for anonymity and whatnot. But she really got into character, that Deb Rael character. Okay, let's see what other pictures we got over here. And then we've got, that's the one I should have shared. Okay. Here, I'll put that one back up there. And then this one, those two, and then let's see what else we got here. More, add file photos. Then we got collections. Here we go, Deb and Doran. Okay. That one. There's Silly Me. There's us. Okay. There's let's see here. Okay, there's that. There's Deb in this picture. She took that picture, I think. Okay. All right, there's some more. Come on, go up. There we go. It's working. Okay, so then the next one. That's I think when she visited Maui. That's probably the IHOP here in town. And then that's when I visited her in Ojai. And then I would bring her flowers at our old place from the land. Bring her these flowers. That's at our Sprecklesville old place. And me just being goofy, silly. That's what I did. And there we are somewhere. I think that's IHOP. That's up in Kula at a restaurant that just burned down, actually. Kula Lodge. And we love going up there, too. And this is a coffee mug that was gifted to her, Maui Time. That's in our old place. And the stream's probably gonna wrap up in the next 5 minutes or so. I'm gonna take this battery all the way to 0. And that'll be the end of the stream. But see if I can get some more pictures up there while we're working on that. Oh, there's the kitty and the piggy at our old place. And there's Deb sitting out in the yard with the pig. And duckies going around. All right, there's a couple pictures we could share. I'll try to plug in the charger. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Monique Red, thank you so much. I'm trying to look at the chat too. Britt, Yoli, Brenda, all y'all. Max Rance in the building. Thanks to everybody. Purpose Productivity. Thank you. Y'all are phenomenal. All right, last little stretch of pictures here. This was the kitty cat where we were caring for this cat over there while we property managed over there, and I cared for the pig as well while we were over there property managing. So there's Deb out in the yard with the pig. We would brush the pig. There's your little cane. That was our spot, our old spot. There was little duckies going around earlier on, and there was the pig always there. And we're down to the tail end. See if I can get any more pictures up here and say the last couple words, and we'll close this thing out momentarily. Thank you, everybody, for your love and care and being with us, and support and condolences and prayers and blessings and all the good energy and everything. And 3-hour live stream here, and Let's see if I can get just a few more pictures in, and then we'll close out. Gonna take it all the way through. Take it all the way through here, y'all. We can do this. We can make just a few more. All righty. Screenshots, quotes. Might be the last couple here. Wow. Okay. Well, I think that is about it. So again, thank you everybody for all your love and support, your blessings, condolences, good energy, prayers, all of it. Deb will be with us forever, no doubt. And, I don't know how to close it out, Paradise, this is a song, it's going to just end. Let me see if I can just for the last part here. I hope the volume is good enough, but Deb, the best partner that I could ever ask for. Really such a sweet, caring, generous person. And everyone who's gotten the chance to meet her has been blessed to know her. And just a really amazing, intuitive, creative, and caring, and can be a little bossy. Great manager, great organizer, great with the details, a Virgo, and just really sweet, kind, walk the earth in a certain way, really spiritual and loving and caring, and yeah, just yeah. One more moment of silence, and then we'll finish it off with peaceful vibes, and then we'll all have a wonderful weekend. And I thank you all again for everything. And no raid today, no raid, no need to raid any other channels. So peaceful vibe in paradise, and then we close out. So here we go, y'all.
The sun, it rises warm and bright. No worries left, no endless fight. We dance in fields where love is grown. For peace on earth we've always known. The waves, they kiss the golden shore. In hearts of gold we see climb. Just pure love and endless time. A world where everyone belongs. In harmony we sing this song. Peaceful vibes in paradise. Underneath these turquoise skies. Hand in hand we walk as one. Feeling life like a rising sun. We